Okay, hello everybody. This is going to be a quick stream today. Um, I'm behind on a lot of stuff, so I can't really spend much time today to do it. So this is mostly going to be a video that's going to be uploaded to YouTube, and or you can watch in the VOD section on the Twitter or Twitch. But talk about Twitter, I'm going to be posting stuff on there after I do this, so please go there and vote. But let's get right into it. I've got a slideshow for you guys, and we're going to talk about some things and just kind of explain what's been going on. So with that, we will see you guys when we switch to the main page, which is now. Withdraw. Okay, so as you can see from the title, and if you watched stream last time, I went to Gamescom 2025. Now, from what I've heard, this is the first time, again, I could be wrong, this is the first time that it came to Canada, and in doing so, they did Edmonton twice, and then every year going forwards, they're going to be switching from, major city to major city. I think every 2 years, it'll go to a new one. So like BC, Ontario, Quebec, stuff like that. And so I got to go again. Though instead of going for a full weekend like I did the first time around, I went to it just for Saturday because we had original plans for some things which fell through. So what you're seeing here is some slideshow of some photos I took. I went this time around mostly as just me and maybe meeting up with some people. Took a photo of one of my favorite cosplays that I saw there, which was a Saint Celestine, which you can see there on the left. And then they had a bunch of cool things. This time around it was a lot bigger, though it was mostly a lot of gaming. On the vendor side of things, I believe last year was actually a lot better. This year felt very much people saw what it was, or they attempted to see what it was like the first year, and then they just didn't bring much. Almost like this is just a side in between step to the next huge American convention that's going on. So it felt very much like a backup convention that, yeah, it was pretty big. As you can see here, this was the size of the gaming hall. That's all 40K on the left, or like on the side we can see, while on the right had all the other games. Blurred photo here was from the Judgment booth, which the blurred model is one that I can't really show in full detail because that's something special that you guys will have to keep an eye out. Some sneak preview of some models that they showed off. So excited to see those when they come out. It's pretty cool. It's going to be for those who want Undead. You're going to have some fun with that. And some other news about rules in the future for people who like teams and themes. But anyways, that's going off on rambled. Let's get right back to the start. Let's pull it all back here and let's talk about what actually has been going on. So, as you may have known from other streams that you've seen, I was working on commission works due to some stuff. I kind of had to push that to the side, and then as soon as I planned to start painting models for me and Callum's Battle of the Bulge game for Bolt Action that we were going to stream, the Apex board game came in, which caused me to push everything to the side because I only had a week to finish, and luckily I did. And that is going to be what my next, on Twitter, my next poll is going to be, and that is, what do I paint next? I've painted all the starter sets, but now there's a lot more. I got the, like respawn beacons, the loot boxes. I got the character expansions, stuff like that. So with that, I'm going to post a poll on Twitter that's going to run for a week, so make sure to please vote on that. I'll be posting it around. In the time of that, including today, I'm going to be just full speed, full throttle into painting these Bolt Action models. Luckily enough, Callum was able to find models that I've already painted for him to make the units, but I'm still going to paint these models I have for him because I told him I would. and I also got to paint my models for the game, which is going to be a lot quicker than his, just because they're mostly just brown trench coats, so I got to paint the boots, the guns, and the skin. And yeah, and then of course the 2 tanks. After that, I'm going to be finishing some. I'm going to go back onto painting my 100 Kingdoms. I'm trying to get at least the horses done. Once I get the Crimson Tower all done, so the 12 of them done, I'm going to build the party bus, which is the Tauntaur special edition model that they released a long time ago. And then after I build him, we're going to paint the Fallen Divinity that I made. Then after the Fallen Divinity is painted, we're going to move back into more 100 Kingdoms with the goal of at least half or more of my 100 Kingdoms being painted with a mix of, ground, like foot infantry, knights, big monsters. And once I get at least half or more of that finished, we're going to have a very special stream where I'm going to have a small Upik with me in person, and we are going to build the Lego D&D 50th anniversary set on stream. We're going to have a goal of like 5 hours or whatever. We're going to build as much of it as we can, and then potentially play the adventure in the future. Yeah. And then, of course, the Apex voting with that in between, that's going to be a kind of a breakup so I don't go crazy painting horses and giant demon ladies. Or undead ladies? I don't know what she really is in the lore. But she's going to be my Chrysalis, which is going to be the Archangel with spear. Because I have the Archangel with sword, so I'm going to have the Archangel with spear. And she's going to be dressed up as Chrysalis. And the Ashen Dawn are going to be painted up as changelings. But that's the update side of things. And now we can get to the con side of things. So when we came in Saturday, it was super pouring out. It was raining all day. We entered, instead of having the Battletech mech like they had last year, where there's, again, a lot more big named publishers were just full bore there. We had like Kobold Press, you had Tops or Catalyst Games, you had Cypher's Games, Flesh and Blood, and they had huge booths. You could buy a bunch of stuff there. But this time around, coming and walking to that first hall where they had the board games and other games, very much it was just demo booths. It was all just like a little booth where you could buy a couple of books. Some of them actually had it where you could buy stuff and then they would just ship it to you at a cheap cost. So basically online sales. And only a couple of booths had stores. A lot of them were running their sales through local game stores. So like Mission Fun and Games, and like them, they were basically used as a third party to sell the stuff for the booths. And then they just had a single table with a person sitting there showing off maybe a new thing and then talking to you. There's very few like Creature Caster, Beatles and Buggles, whatever they're called, the guys who make the really expensive handcrafted special edition D&D box sets. Like, they actually had booths where you can buy first party stuff through them. Play on Tabletop, as you can see here, was the other big booth that actually had all the dudes there. I think Tycho was the only one that wasn't there from the main cast. At least I didn't see, but they were the only other big booth there. It felt very much like people, I don't know if it was costs or if it just like there were so many cons this year, or what happened with Parabellum. They were supposed to have a special edition model there, and what they've been doing is what they're going to be doing now, every con is going to have a special fish gnome model. For us, we were supposed to get a samurai model, and that was going to be the big show off of like, hey, we're doing this differently with each convention. So if you were there to get one, like me, unfortunately, again, the tariffs and border stuff, they were unable to send their prize support and their models to the event this year. So next con they go to, we will be able to buy the Fish Gnome Samurai on the website. So I'm going to be saving for that. Unfortunate, but it happens. They also dropped some news to me for those who really love the lore of Conquest and you like the models, but you play mostly RPGs. I have been told that potentially, this has not been 100% confirmed because it's, word of mouth. The RPG is going to be coming out next year in the spring/summer, or at least announced around that time. RPGs take a long time to write, especially if you're making your own rules. But if they're going to be making it as a source book for like D&D or Pathfinder would be preferred, then it would probably be like spring/summer of next year. But the RPG is in the works. It is coming out / being announced. So I am super stoked for it. The world of Conquest is one of my favorite fantasy settings. So I'm definitely going to be snagging that up, and especially if there's a collector's edition, I'm going to be getting that. Other news, a lot of models for Conquest has come into my local store, and I'm going to be picking that up once I pay rent, so next month. So expect to see some videos coming up here on YouTube for that, some unboxings, and maybe some priming / painting, quick painting here and there. This was the first time that Aura Games Workshop hosted an official Warhammer tournament, at least on this side of Canada. So we got to see that. They brought like a life-size Terminator. They had a store which I think actually had Forge World in it, which was kind of cool to see. And they're officially running a tournament. In the tournament, and again, when we do an actual full like video about the con and what I got, Upik can join. Will probably most likely want to join, and he'll tell you the side of the gaming because he went to the whole weekend tournament. I just went for Saturday. But from what I saw, the 3 or 4 major armies there was Nurgle, Tyranids, Custodes, and a flip of Emperor's Children and Guardsmen were tied for like 4th. So, and everybody was running 2 Great Unclean Ones. The Guardsmen, of course, running their tanks. Custodians had the tank, their hover tank. And Emperor's Children had a Fulgrim, but in a couple of the demon engines, the Muller Fiends or whatever. And no Shalaxi, which Upik was running. Besides that, got my friends to go meet. I finally met Simon from Creaturecaster and Peter in person. Those guys are awesome. Even though, like, I'm not gonna say it because they don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. But it's nothing bad. It's just me looping in my head. But those guys are some of the best PR / community-driven guys from a company that I've ever met. And they're some of the major reasons why I still stick with Judgment, even though MOBAs might not be my favorite form of game. Their models are some of the best I've seen from a traditional molder that's indie to a point. I would still consider them an indie publisher. Their game is fun, makes MOBAs actually good. The models are great, like I've said, and they're just support in like loving seeing people play the games, shill it, just talk about it for hours. They're some of the best, and they're willing to put themselves out there just for you to like have some fun, and even they are willing to play games with the community. So they're like, I think, number one in that aspect, and they're the reason why they're my favorite company for now. Though it is competing really hard with Gloomhaven and Apex, which are my favorite board games of all time. But they are like, if I didn't have those, Judgment would be number one. Unfortunately, talk about board games, we can go into this news. Asmodee has gained the rights of Zombicide. Now, Simon has come out and said that the latest board games that they made, so the Marvel stuff, which is cool in premise. Don't get me wrong, I would love to get that game. If someone got it for me, I would love it. But I prefer the Western version of Zombicide or the modern day version, like the original. And those ones, unfortunately, are going to Asmodee. And for anyone who lives in Canada who's worked with Alliance Rampant and Asmodee, you know they're utter trash, and that's where games go to die. So, it's unfortunate. To me, Zombicide is dead, at least for ongoing support. The game, I still have all my copies of the originals. I have the update box, so I can update the cards for all my expansions and stuff to be second edition. So I can mix and match. I have my second edition core boxes with the expansions. I'm probably gonna go pick up the DC expansion just because it was a campaign one and I just wanted like the replayability one. So I only have the Fort Hendricks one. So I think I'm gonna pick up the DC next time I'm at a store that has it on sale or something, and just get over my loss of that. Which I was also surprised to learn that Tanto Cure had a couple of new expansions, so I got those. And yeah. Any other news I can think of that I saw at the con? Oh, I made a joke last year, because I met Nick and Mubin last year at the convention when they were running their narrative campaign. And when I was talking to them, I had my rule book for second edition Bolt Action that I turned into a signature book. And they're talking about, oh, we never played Bolt Action on the channel yet, but we want to. So I said, yeah, I hope you guys do. I want you to play it. So, and I think I made a joke at some point about bringing them the rule book or something for third edition when it comes out. Because at the time, second was still strong, and third edition had either been announced or actually had the release date. Either or. So this year around, I was going to buy them the starter box, the 2-player Battle of the Bulge starter set. As it got closer, it disappeared off the store. But they also announced that they were revamping the Band of Brothers box set. So both sides got equal amount of dudes, vehicles, and the rulebook and everything. Just a couple more sprues added to the second edition Band of Brothers starter set. So I was like, cool, it's coming out. It's going to be just before the con. I could grab it, and that'll be it. They'll have the rulebook, they'll have the models. As we were getting closer, about a week away from the con, it wasn't in stores yet. At least the ones where I was. We always get stuff the last, basically. And I was freaking out, panicking. I'm like, oh, my plan's not gonna work. So I ended up buying the core rulebook separately and the $80 starter set, the one that takes you step by step how to play it, the one with the legal cardboard cutout half track. And so I bought those. I'm like, okay, this will have to do. I went into our store like a couple of days before the Friday of the week before the con, and they had 2 left that they were putting on the shelf, and I'm like, is that the third edition version? And they're like, yep. I'm like, can I grab it? And they're like, here you go. And they're like, oh, the easiest sale ever, just instantly to me. So I was able to snap one quickly. Unfortunately, I had to pay full price / a little more, but it was worth it in the end. And I had the quick easy start box set, the 2-player starter set, and the core rulebook in hardback. And I beelined it to the Play on Tabletop booth because I wanted to be able to walk around with my friends and just spend the rest of the day just kind of chilling. And I dropped it off to them. I met JT, told him the story, hey, I said I wanted you guys to play it, joked about bringing you a box next year. Here I am with a bag of goodies of Bolt Action. Unfortunately, talking to them, again, this is casual, not repping them, just 2 gamers playing, fan talk to a dude who brought them a gift. So this has no reflection, no opinion towards Play on Tabletop as a group or a company. What I'm about to say is a personal response from the person talking to me in an unofficial manner. So take that as the legality, legal PSA warning here. But talking to him, guy was great, though I did get a little bit of a vibe, and they basically stated that they were kind of, the best word I can think of is afraid, unsure about playing Bolt Action on their channel because, especially with war going on right now, and a lot of YouTube channels being hit with demonetization or their videos being deleted with German models being like shown in it, like Bolt Action Let's Plays and stuff, or model reviews, or like my own personal video where I went through my German army collection, where for some reason showing a Panzer IV got my video taken down and gave me a YouTube strike. They're not sure about playing Bolt Action on the publicly available YouTube channel. So we're unfortunately probably not going to see Bolt Action played unless you're a member on their Patreon or other places that they may stream it, which is fair. It's their channel. He kept it as unpolitical as he could on his response, though in my personal opinion that's kind of a, I don't want to say a bitch response. That's kind of mean. He's thinking about his friends, the channel, it's their income, and like the mass viewers, and that's fair. But you should also be able to stand up and say, this is a game. This is a war game. We're playing a war game. This has no political stance to it. And I'd rather them play it where they feel safe and stream it. Or even if they don't stream it, just play it and have fun. I'd rather them just play it and feel safe for themselves. And if we get to see it, we get to see it. If not, I was happy enough just to like do my part. I know I can't afford to constantly be subscribed to a Patreon or donate money during live streams, but through saving throughout the few months to buy these sets for them as a gift, that's the best I could do. And I just wanted them to enjoy a game that I personally really love. And I've heard them talk about it before. I know TAC has some Bolt Action armies. JT wants to play the Canadians. He has Canadians / wants to play Canadians. Stuff like that. So that's it. PSA over, legality over. My views on that. No talk hate towards them and stuff. They like are some of the best like dudes besides old school mini wargaming. These guys are like basically the heart of wargaming, and they're all nice people, and they're for the gamer, and I have no ill against them. It's just personality, like two views clashing, and I'm not a person who's successful on YouTube who has to deal with the legality of all that stuff or the public view of stuff like that. So I can't say on that end, and I hope them well. And I know they're going to do well, and I just hope they enjoy the box sets. I was happy to see them so happy and excited when I gave it to them, and that was the payoff that I needed, and nothing else matters in that end. So I was really happy for that. Talk about loot, seeing as we're at Play on Tabletop here. I may have spent a little bit more than I intended to. I ended up getting a Play on Tabletop shirt. I got their dice tray with one of the side caddies that hold your points and your dice. I got the Steve Space Marine model. I got a sticker. Excuse me. I got their Steve touched dice. I'm ashamed to say that I'm not 100% on Steve, like who he is in the group. A lot of the videos I watch from them is like Conquest, Apex, and side video stuff. So 40K is not the huge one I watch. Though if I was to watch battle reports, they are enjoyable enough that I can get past them playing 40K. Personal hatred towards Games Workshop I've talked about before, but I got those dice, so I have in-studio dice that were played in a game, signed by everybody, and I have the dice that are signed and touched by Steve sitting on my desk on display. And then I have from Norse Foundry, I went to go get another set of the red dice I had that I bought for D&D. I wanted a second set, but they had a little steel book of a anime blind box dice. And I was like, that'd be funny to get. The box is like a book from Card Captors. It's awesome. But I was like, it's blind box. You don't know what you're going to get. But it was like a lot cheaper. So I said, screw it. It's metal. The dice are metal. I'll just buy it. And it was the exact same color combination as the dice that I bought. Like, I chose and bought last year. So it was a win for me. So I got dice at discount that have little funny anime-related stuff as the number ones. So like the number one on the D20 is the angry little like hashtag sign that you see on people. The number one on a D12 is like the scribbly angry emote, like angry thoughts emote, stuff like that. What else did I buy there? I got some signatures, like a lot of signatures, and food. Pierogi truck tastes good, but like so small a proportion for what you paid. It was a ripoff, basically. Finally got to try the donuts, the fusion donuts. So good. So good for the cost. And then, oh yeah, and I bought a couple of minis from Creature Caster. So, and that was that. So that's basically it. Think of anything else I could talk about, any updates recently. So yeah, come back next Sunday where I'll actually have the stream going, where we're going to be painting whatever's remainder of bolt action stuff, or if people vote, we'll be painting the next Apex mini that you guys voted for. Apex mini plus their stand. And yeah, so with that, I'm going to go and close here. We're going to be closing. So I'm going to go and set up that poll on Twitter. Make sure you guys check down below under this stream. You should be able to see my Twitter link down there if you guys want to see what I've been painting, what I'm working on, any news about what's new in Gamer Supps. It'll be there. If you guys want to see the actual videos of past streams or what I do for mostly on my channels and stuff, check out my YouTube. But with that, thank you so much for stopping by this quick update video and /con Let's Talk. Hopefully you guys have a good day, and we will see you next weekend. I'm going to go and get my table set up for painting. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good time.